am going to start with 10th standard first chapter, that is force, right? It will be a new series for the students who requested me. We want entire physics, say revision. We want lectures for entire physics lectures. So I am doing that part. It will start somewhere after, say in a week there will be 2 to 3 videos on almost all chapters. But now the chapters which are already done, I am not doing the same thing. I will do something different for those chapters. But since this fourth chapter I have not done any single video, only numericals are uploaded. So I am doing this part as a theory. Just come to the part. Now this chapter force, we have already discussed in 9th standard what is force, what are different types of force. All that part we are not discussing over here. Now we are directly coming what is the effect of force. Now here, this is about suppose platform. On this platform, this is the body placed. This is the body placed on this platform. Now this body is free to move in any direction. Now suppose I am applying a force to this body, and this body is free to move. This body is what? Free to move. Then this body will be in motion. This body will be in motion. This kind of motion is called as translational motion. It is called as translational motion. Here body is free to move. It is called as translational motion. Now in second case, suppose the body is pivoted. This is the axis of rotation. And suppose I am applying force to this body in this direction. This is the applied force. Then this body will start moving like this. This is called as clockwise direction. Or if I apply force in this direction, if I am applying force in this direction, then the body will start rotating in this direction. This is called as anti-clockwise motion. So can I say over here there will be a rotational motion. This is which type of motion? Rotational. So the question is, what will happen if a force is applied to a body, and if the body is free to move, it will give you translational motion, and if the body is pivoted, it will give you rotational motion. For rotational motion, it could be either clockwise or it could be anti-clockwise. Right? This is about the first part. Now next important part is about what is moment of force. Now this moment of force is also called as torque. It is also called as torque. Now in simple word, what is a moment of force? It is a turning effect of a body about the given axis of rotation. Now here we'll take a simple example of our door. So this is my door, right? These are the hinges. So this is my axis of rotation. This is my axis of rotation. Now these are the hinges, first hinge, second hinge, and this is the third hinge, right? And here is a handle attached. Here I am attaching a handle, right? Now I want to open this door, so I will pull this part, and I want to close this door, that is push. So this is my push. This is with the help of force F. This is my pull F with the help of force F, right? And the perpendicular distance between these two is D. Perpendicular distance between the two is called D. So moment of force is nothing but it is a turning effect of a body about the given axis of rotation. It is a turning effect of a body about the given axis of rotation. So moment of force or torque is nothing but it is a product of magnitude of force. Right? It is the product of magnitude of force into it is the perpendicular distance between your axis of rotation. This is the axis of rotation, and this is the axis of rotation, and line of action of force. This is your line of action of force. So I can say moment of force is denoted by this sign. This sign is called tau. Or simply you can write T also. The T is also called as torque. Right? So this is tau is equal to magnitude of force F into the perpendicular distance, that is D. So moment of force depends on two factors. One is the magnitude of force and second is the perpendicular distance. This second is the perpendicular distance. So what is the next part? Next part is what is the SI unit of torque. So SI unit of torque is, you have force is in Newton, distance is in meter. So this is Newton meter, right? Now you cannot write this part as joule because work is also force into displacement. So they are also force into displacement, right? So here you cannot write this as Newton, or you cannot write this as Newton meter as joule. Why? I will come to that one. Okay. Now this is a vector quantity. This is which quantity? Vector. Vector is that physical quantity which has both magnitude as well as direction. So this moment of force or torque requires both magnitude as well as direction, because whenever you say turning effect, so whether it is clockwise or anti-clockwise, that you have to specify. So whenever you are doing this numerical of this moment of force, so whenever there is a force, moment of force, then you should specify in which direction it is given. It is given, right? So this is the vector. Now why I cannot write this as joule? Why cannot I write? Because work is a scalar quantity. Work is a dot product of two vector quantities, that is force and displacement. Since it is a dot or a scalar product of two vectors, therefore you cannot write SI unit of moment of force as Newton meter is equal to joule. You cannot write, right? Okay. Now what will be the CGS unit? CGS unit will be dyne centimeter. It is what? Dyne centimeter. Now how these two are related? So 1 Newton meter is equal to 1 Newton into 1 meter. 1 Newton is 10 raised to 5 dyne into 1 meter is 10 raised to 2 centimeter, which is written as 10 raised to 7 dyne centimeter. Numerically value remains same, but you cannot write that part. This is equal to joule and this is equal to earth. Numerical value remains the same, right? This is about the moment of force. Now there are various questions based on this moment of force. They can ask a question: can moment of force be zero even if force is not equal to zero? Answer is yes. Now how it is possible? Check. Here moment of force depends on two factors. One is the magnitude of force and second is the perpendicular distance. Now here force is not equal to zero. Still can moment of force be zero? Yes. If I apply this force over here, if I try to open door from hinges, is it possible for me to open that door? I don't want to break the door, I just want to open that door. So it is not practically possible, because if the perpendicular distance is zero, then moment of force will be zero, right? Okay, that is one part. Then what will happen? Can I open this door if I arrange, say, handle over here? If I push this door from middle, can I open this door? Yes, you can open. But as the perpendicular distance is reduced, so it is half, perpendicular distance is reduced, so your force ka value is doubled. What is the difference? Force ka value will be doubled. So it is difficult for us to open door if I apply this handle at middle. You can open, but the force will be doubled, right? That is what about moment of force, right? Okay, take the next one. In next part, so there are many examples why the spanner has longer handle. So answer will be same. Since moment of force is the product of magnitude of force and perpendicular distance. Now if the perpendicular distance is increased, for keeping the torque same, you can by keeping the torque same, you can open that door with a less force. So force required will be less. Therefore, you can open that door, right? Now, next part is about moment of couple. What is moment of couple? Now, when we say couple, couple is a pair of two forces. Couple is a pair of what? Two forces. Now, we'll take an example of, say this is a, say that this is a rod, right? I'm taking this is the rod. This is the rod. Now, this is a one force applied over here. Let it be F. Here is another force. Let it be F. Right? Say this is point A, this is point O, this is point B, right? Initially, I will write this is F1 is equal to say F. I will call F2 is equal to say F, and let the perpendicular distance between these two is say D. Perpendicular distance between them is what? D. So over here, can I write this is equal to moment of force F1 about O. When I say about O, my axis of rotation will be at O, and this perpendicular, it is what? Perpendicular to the plane formed by this F1 and F2, right? So this is moment of force F1 about O is torque 1 is equal to, it is magnitude of force F1 into perpendicular distance, that is equal to AO. Perpendicular distance, that is equal to AO. Dear friend, this derivation is not there, but still I am doing because concept will be more clear. Concept will be what? More clear. Similarly, I can write here, moment of force F2 about O, about what? That is equal to torque 2, which is equal to, it is F2 into OB. F2 into what? OB. Right? Now, what is the direction for this? It is going like this. This is against clock. This is again going against clock. So, this direction will be anti-clockwise. And here also direction will be same, that is anti-clockwise. Now, can I say therefore total moment of two forces, right, about O, means this is my axis of rotation, and I want what is the effect of these two forces about this point O. So that is equal to, I am writing torque is equal to torque 1 plus torque 2. Now what is torque 1? It is nothing but your F1 into AO plus F2 into OB. Right? Now what is F1? Is nothing but F. What is F2? Is nothing but F. So can I write this is F into AO plus F into what? OB. Now can I take this F as common? So दोनों में से common निकलेगा F. So I will take that part F out. This is AO plus OB. Now what is AO plus OB? Is nothing but what? AB. So I can write here therefore torque is equal to F into AB. Right? But AB is nothing but your perpendicular distance, and is called as couple arm. This AB is equal to D is called as couple arm. It is called as what? Couple arm. So I can write therefore this part as here torque is equal to F into D. So in future I can write what is couple? It is nothing but, it is moment of couple is nothing but, it is a product of magnitude of either force into perpendicular distance between the two forces. But couple कभी बोलेंगे इसको when two forces are equal in magnitude and they are acting on opposite direction, same body in opposite direction. Now what are the examples of couple? Couple का example क्या है? One example is your steering wheel. First example will be a steering wheel. Now I want to open the cap of this bottle. So I am using example of couple. This is what couple. I'm opening this cap. I'm closing this cap. This is nothing but your couple. So couple is what? Two forces equal in magnitude, opposite in direction, act on the same body in the form couple. Now couple is again a force, right? It is a vector quantity. You should have direction also, right? So the direction part I am writing here. That is anti-clockwise movement is positive and clockwise movement is considered as negative. Anti-clockwise movement is positive and clockwise movement is what? Negative. So anti-clockwise is positive, clockwise will be what? Negative, right? This is about the movement of couple, right? Okay. Now we'll go with the next part. Next part is what we call as equilibrium. Next part will be what? Equilibrium. Now what is equilibrium? Right? Now equilibrium is what? The word itself says body is at rest. Now equilibrium is what? If number of forces acting on a body produce no change in state of rest or state of motion, the body is said to be in what? Equilibrium. The body is said to be what? Equilibrium. Now there are two types of equilibrium. One is static. This is static equilibrium. And second will be what? Dynamic equilibrium. One is static equilibrium, second will be dynamic equilibrium. Static means body is at rest. Dynamic means body is in motion. Now what are the examples of static equilibrium? Say book lying on this table. This is the say object. You can say this is the object lying on this table. So this is the weight, center of gravity from which weight is acting. This will be the normal reaction which is acting in upward direction. This is called as static equilibrium. This is what static equilibrium. What is dynamic? Dynamic means body is in motion. Dynamic equilibrium, you take an example of say planet is revolving around the sun. That motion is called as what? Dynamic equilibrium. Raindrop is moving in downward direction, right? Then that raindrops, all the drops in one layer, they are moving with the same speed, so they are in dynamic equilibrium. Aeroplane is moving at certain height, so total downward force and total upward force, they are get balanced, and they are moving with the same velocity in forward direction. That is an example of dynamic equilibrium. So all these examples are very, very, very important, right? Okay. Now we'll go with the next part. Is what is principle of moments, and what is next is principle of moments. Next will be it is principle of moments. Now principle of moments is what? This is our rigid body, rigid support. Now to this rigid support I am attaching one say rod. This is the point of suspension. Let it be O, right? Now at its one end, I am attaching one body. So this is the body. This weight is W1, called as force F1, and the distance between these two, let it be L1. The distance between these two is what? L. Now initially, suppose only this part is there, then this body will turn like this. ऐसे turning होगा इसका. So this is which direction? It is going like this. Our घड़ी will go like this. Our clock will go like this. And this is going against that clock. Therefore, it is called as anti-clockwise movement. This is what anti-clockwise movement, right? Now forget about this part is there. This is nothing. There is nothing on this left hand side. I am attaching my fresh force over here, weight over here to this side. I will call this force as F2, which is your weight W2, and the distance between these two is say L2. Distance between what L2. This part is not there. Only this part is there. This body will move like this. This rod will turn like this. This is nothing but your clockwise movements. This is what clockwise movements, right? Now this is anti-clockwise, this is clockwise. Now in equilibrium, can I say total anti-clockwise movement is equal to, it is total clockwise movement. Total anti-clockwise movement is equal to total clockwise movements. So can I write here, this is nothing but torque 1 is equal to say torque 2. I am calling torque 1 as F1 into L1. This is F2 into what? L. So in this way, I can write this is W1 into L1 is equal to W2 into L2. Now this is according to principle of moments. So according to principle of moments, in equilibrium, total anti-clockwise movement. Now how will you come to know which one is anti-clockwise? So this is our rigid support. Uska left hand side is always anti-clockwise, and iska right hand side bodies will give you always clockwise movement. So that is the way you can remember. This is also applicable for a rod. It is pivoted like this. So bodies kept over here left hand side will give you anti-clockwise, and bodies kept towards right will give you clockwise movement. So this is about which direction, but how will you come to know which one is anti-clockwise, which one is clockwise? So simple word means the bodies which are attached to left hand side is give you anti-clockwise movement, bodies attached to the right hand side will give you clockwise movements, right? So beam balance or physical balance is based on the principle of this, right? This is very, very important. Now friends, that's it for this video. I have finished part A of 4 chapters. Now you have to, they say the students, the important part, you can score good marks or you will get full marks in physics only when you read the textbook properly. Now whatever I taught is everything is there in the textbook, but you should read textbook again and again. You do all book back question answers. That is the most important part. Say you can score, say by just attending lectures, by just going through videos, you can score up to 90%, 90 marks. From 90 to 99 or 100, that is given only by practicing writing, because writing is just something which is required in physics. If you just listen this video, you will not get anything. You have to write. These videos are only for your revision purpose, not for teaching. Right? Teaching will be done in the regular class only. This is only for your quick revision part. And for this you have to write more papers. More papers if you write, you will get 100% you will score good marks in physics. Right? All the best. Thank you.